All right, guys, welcome back to the L1 podcast. Today we've got Shannon Webb with Blue Rain Roofing.
Yep.
Thank you for being here with us. So Shannon is a good friend of mine. I've known him for I don't even know, probably what 5 years,
At
4 years
least,
now.
yeah.
He's helped me with my roof. He's helped some of my clients with roof issues and replacements. And I feel like now is a good time to have you come on and talk about what's going on in the roof world. Talk a little bit about what you guys do. Not only do you do roofs, but siding and windows and gutters and all that good stuff. So we're gonna kind of just jump right into it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we do roofing, siding, gutters, windows, insulation, wood rot repair, exterior paint. I can do pretty much anything exterior. We started off the core business being roofing, siding, and gutters. We've kind of ventured out and got into the other parts because we're exterior renovators is what we consider ourselves. So
For sure.
if we can be a one-stop shop for a homeowner, why not?
Yep.
So
I think so obviously, what a lot of homeowners don't understand is roofs can be very expensive. But there are ways that you necessarily, as the homeowner, don't have to pay that out of pocket.
correct.
I think that's the biggest thing that I believe you helped me out with my own personal
Right.
deal was that you were able to communicate with the insurance company. And the biggest thing too is you guys were able to come out to my property and let me know if you thought that insurance was going to cover it or
Correct.
not. That to me is the biggest thing because a lot of people don't understand is when you actually file that claim and have an adjuster come out and look at your roof to see if it is replaceable or approved by insurance coverage or a portion of it or whatever it looks like for your insurance coverage. What a lot of people don't understand is even if you place that, the adjuster comes out and they say nope, not going to replace it. That's a ding on your insurance, and so that's a big deal to have you guys come out pre and let the homeowner know, yes, this is a very good chance that you could get this replaced.
Right. Obviously, insurance has changed over the years. It's not cut and dry. Insurance, you call the insurance company and say, hey, I've got damage to my roof. You guys pay for it. I mean, that's the way it used to be back in the day. Things have changed over the years. They're a lot stricter on what they're paying for. Just the industry as a whole has changed. So, as a roofing company, we've had to do the same. So, what kind of sets me apart from a lot of other companies, I don't want to waste your time, my time, or the insurance company's time. That's the thing. I want to come out, I want to look at your roof. If I feel that there's enough damage there, I'm going to tell a homeowner, hey, I feel like there's enough here to file a claim. Let's go ahead and get a claim filed. And I can help homeowners walk through, that process and everything else. It can be a lot to a homeowner,
Yep.
Especially those who've never dealt with a roof replacement before, dealing with insurance companies. That's what I'm here for.
Yep.
So yeah, get the process started. If I feel that there's enough damage, let's go ahead and file that claim. And they schedule time for an adjuster to come out and take a look at it. Sometimes it's actual, a staff adjuster that's from the insurance company that comes out. Other times it's a third party company.
Right.
These third party companies, they may have worked at Burger King last week, but this week they're working, for an insurance company, not for the insurance company, but as a third party saying, oh, that's not damage, or yes, that's damage.
Yep.
But that's why I want to be there as well when they're doing that inspection to make sure that they're seeing everything that I see.
Definitely.
I'm here for the homeowner, for you as a homeowner, not for the insurance company.
Yep.
If I'm taking my day out to come meet with an adjuster because I feel that there's enough damage, that's the whole point of
Yep.
having me out there. So once that process is going, if the insurance company will say yes, there's enough damage to replace the roof, then I'm going to walk the homeowner through that process and kind of show them what they're paying for, line item by detail. It details everything out, and yeah, kind of go from there. We can never, as a contractor, cover a deductible because that's against the law. There are contractors that will do that. I just won't do it.
Yep.
Brady, I like you a lot, but I never would have covered your deductible because it's just against the law.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lose my license over that.
for
But
sure.
there's other ways around the deductibles. Let's say the insurance company is going to pay for roof, gutters, some window wraps, some garage doors, and things like that. So we can actually use that money, not do that work. So let's say they're paying for a garage door. It's $1,500 for a garage door. Your deductible is $1,500. Well, you don't have to replace that garage door, but we can use that money towards your deductible. So
Okay,
there's
interesting.
where your no out of pocket expense comes into play.
Yep.
And that's not illegal. You don't get the full value of and when you don't do work, the insurance company pays for it. They're only going to pay a portion of it first. If you do it, then they'll pay the remaining.
Yep.
So that $1,500, it may only be $1,200 because they're taking out the appreciation of things. There's just so much involved when it comes to insurance.
For sure.
But I'm here to, kind of walk a homeowner through that process.
Definitely.
It's very confusing. Their paperwork confuses me sometimes. I've been doing this for a long time. But yeah, so
Yeah, I mean, I totally remember doing mine and looking through it. It was just like eye opening. You're like, what am I looking at? I mean, I look at numbers all day long and look at loan estimates and disclosures and everything, but that was a lot of foreign knowledge
yeah,
to me,
yeah.
and I had to actually go through it with you multiple
Mhm.
times. Go, hey, is this adding up? Is this right? Is it right?
Yeah.
Because it is confusing. So I think that was really nice of what you were able to do is sit down, go through the numbers, make sure we were comfortable before we kind of jumped into anything. And then I think the other thing that you guys do is really cool. Is I don't know if all roofing companies do this, probably most do, but doing the roof, the gutters, and then when you get the gutters approved as well. I think the good thing about that is, from your standpoint, is we were actually able to pick out the color for the gutter
Correct.
and then make sure that it matched our paint and everything.
Right.
And you guys had a lot of different colors for that. So it was nice to know that we didn't have to just go with the generic white and then have to go back and paint it, because that would have been a
Right.
train wreck as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, you have over 25 colors you can choose from. There's over a billion house paint colors out there.
Right.
I got 25 uh, color charts for gutters and downspouts. So I can get kind of close. I'm not
Yeah,
always going to match everything perfectly, but I can
for
get pretty
sure.
close. And if need be, yeah, we will paint them to match exactly
Oh wow.
if we needed to.
Yeah.
I know sometimes on the front you're going to have, the gutters are going to match the front of your house paint, or the back they may just be whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, we can definitely do that. Same thing with the shingles. You don't have to stick with your cut and dry weatherwood, driftwood color. You can go
Yep.
with different colors. Some HOAs like yourself only
Yep.
allowed you one color, so
Right.
but you have options on that as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, tell me a little bit about Blue Rain. So, obviously, I think there's a lot of different companies that someone can choose for a roof or to, do roof repairs or whatnot. You guys are local here in Kansas City, locally found. How many years have you been working there?
Yeah, so my son-in-law David, he started Blue Rain about 10 years ago. His father had a roofing company.
Okay.
His father became one of those shady roofers. He
Oh,
decided
no.
he can't do that anymore. He
Yep,
wanted to start, his own business, wanted to be a legit roofer.
for sure.
People can trust and call on, and he's built his relationship with realtors and just different people throughout the industries
Yep.
over the years. I came on about 8 months later after he started Blue Rain. He's like, "Hey, I need an old man to come work for me." People trust old men, more than they do us younger guys. I was in the casino industry for 25 plus years. I didn't know anything about roofing, but I had to learn about roofing. I learned everything, from
Yep.
David, going to classes, going to manufacturer training and things like that. So,
Yep.
uh, a shingle is a shingle, yes, but there's a lot more involved in making a shingle. So,
For sure.
so Blue Rain's been around for about 10 years. We're just a small family-owned company. We're not advertising on TV or the radio. You'll see us on Facebook all the time.
Yep.
We have a lot of referrals through that source. But been around for about 10 years. We're truly a family-owned business. So it's David, myself, and then we have David's mom, who's our office manager,
Okay.
and then Anna, my daughter, his wife. She's our accounts receivable.
Oh, wow.
So it's the core four. You know, we bicker, we fight, we do all of it, just like any family does, or any business does as well. But we know where to stop it too.
Yep.
So so we take pride in giving the value to all of our homeowners, the same value to everybody.
Definitely.
And doing one-on-ones with homeowners face to face, sit down, talking to them. Hey, how was your day? Tell me about your family. Just learning your customers or your clients. Any way you can, just so they have trust in you. That's
Definitely.
my biggest thing, and that's what I
Yeah, I
tell them.
love that. I love what you talk about with, with it being a family business. I kind of come from that
Yeah.
as well. Some people know that, some people don't, but I actually work for my father-in-law.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit different dynamic there. And I've worked with him for the past 7, going on 8 years, 8 years now. And it's fun. My wife, she does kind of the payroll and the admin type stuff
Right.
as well. And so it's very interesting. I'm sure you probably have
Oh
the
yeah.
same concept too, where it's could be a Sunday dinner and it's all just talking about business. And sometimes the kids are like, "What's going on?" Like
Right.
and sometimes you do get into a little bit of an argument, but yeah, you ultimately know when to stop
Yep.
and you move forward. But I wouldn't want it any different at
No.
all. I
No.
think knowing that you're in business with people that you know, love, and trust is
Mhm.
is a huge commitment. You guys know that you're building a future, could be building a business for the kids to take over
Right.
one day, and I think that's something that we kind of think about too. And it's yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So kind of cool to see you guys building the same thing that we're doing over here at Lake
Absolutely.
One as well. I think what's interesting about the roofing business of its all is so you guys do roofing, gutters, siding, windows. Is there
Insulation, wood rot repair,
yeah,
exterior paint. I mean, like I said earlier, we try to be a one-stop shop.
yeah.
So you're not having to write the check out for this person, and this person. You can just write one check, and
And that's what I loved about working with you is like you had everyone. You were the direct contact for
yeah,
everything. So if I felt like there was an issue or I didn't know what was going on, I was able to call you. You were able to tell me what was going on, resolve it. I think there was one part where they used a different color of a gutter, and you're able to fix that within the next
absolutely.
day. So and that's like anything in business. Whether it's mortgages or roofing or whatever it is, there's gonna be something that goes
Oh
wrong.
yeah,
It's out of our control. We can't do everything. Like I wouldn't expect you to go sell the roofs, run the company, and hammer the nail at the same time. It just doesn't work that way, or
right,
else you don't have a business.
right.
You do one roof a month probably, and that's about it. But what's really interesting is in business as something goes wrong, it's not about what goes wrong in that issue. It's about how do you
Fix it.
react and how do
Yep,
you fix it.
yep.
And that to me said a lot about Blue Rain and how you guys,
Yeah,
do that.
I've had many nights where I had this one lady. I love her. She was like 88 years old. We became really good friends. She was a very, I say needy. When I say that, I don't mean that in disrespect, but her husband passed away a year prior, so she was still
Yeah.
trying to start handling things on her own. So I was getting phone calls at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night with this
Oh
lady
wow.
asking questions, her concerns, and I that's one thing about me that kind of sets me apart, even from David, and it irritates me because David doesn't always answer his phone. I try to answer my phone for any and everybody that calls me.
Yep.
Like I said, I've had the calls at 10 o'clock at night. Well, I've got a question, Shannon. What do you do about this and this? Okay, Gloria, this is what we got to do. That's all right. I like that though.
Yep.
She trusts me enough, and she knows that I'll answer her questions at any time of the day or night.
Definitely.
And that again, that's what I build relationships that way. And
Yeah, and I think that's really important to know in business. And I'm sure there's other roofing companies out there that give you the 1-800 number, call the
yep,
office, 9 to 5, all that BS, right? We see that a ton on the mortgage side. Whether it's your own bank or a big box lender, one of those online lenders, you're going to call the 1-800 number. You're going to have to press 2, 4, 5, 6, 7,
yeah,
whatever, just to get to somebody. And it's not even the person you want to talk to, or not even the
right,
loan officer you're with,
right,
right? That I give my cell phone out to every single
yep,
person I work with. It's my cell phone, my direct line. They can text me, they can call me anytime, they can reach out. The amazing part about that is, and whether it's with a roofing problem or a mortgage problem, or are we going to close, someone can reach out to me on a Saturday, and I'm sure the same thing for
yep,
you, Shannon. oh my gosh, like some I don't know, it's about to rain and they're fixing the roof. Is this going to be an issue? Whatever, right? Something's going to come up, and you're going to be able to answer that question right then and there and be done. To them, it's a very important question, and they think it's like going to blow something up. To us, it's not that important, but we can answer it very fast.
Right.
So now they can sleep well at night. We're not having to wait till 9 a.m. on Monday.
Right.
And that's a huge deal when it
It is
comes to
huge.
business.
It is huge.
Um, so a lot of people just don't understand that.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know that up front whenever you're trying to decide what company to go with, and all you're looking at is price. But that's not in the pricing sheet. That's not a lot of things that people talk about. And so that's what we try and talk about with a lot of clients is, sometimes we might not be the cheapest,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're not, the Walmart lender. And just so you know, Walmart's not doing matching anymore either. So there's a difference right there. But we're just sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're the cheapest, and sometimes we're not. It just depends. But it depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for someone who's going to communicate, do a good job, close on time, get that stuff taken care of, and also take care of you after closing? We're your people, right?
Right.
If you're just looking for somebody to, have problems, not answer their phone, but be the cheapest, well, you might be able to call someone else. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
But same on the roofing side. I'm sure you guys probably would go around saying we're not the direct cheapest person
Absolutely.
in the market, but we're going to take care of you. We're going to do a good job, and we're going to follow up with you afterwards. I think the big thing that you guys had done for me, and it was one of the things that really drove me to use you, was that I had some issues, previous issues before we repaired our roof, and you were able to come out, either get a guy up on the roof or fly your drone up there, which I thought was really cool, take photos, and then fix a few issues for a very minimal
Right.
cost. And then that drove me to say, as soon as I knew, everyone in my neighborhood was getting a new roof, I was like, hey, I need to call Shannon and see,
Yeah.
what's up. And the cool thing is when I called you, you guys do, and I'm sure, and I think you still do this, but you do free evaluations or
Absolutely.
whatever you call it to come out and just say, hey, is my roof good enough to be repaired through insurance? Can you come out? You're not going to charge a
Right.
trip fee, and I'm sure there's people out there that do that. So can you speak a little bit on that?
Yeah, I mean, could we start charging for that? Absolutely, we could. It's just kind of an added service that we pride ourselves in.
Yep.
Roofs are expensive. That's going to be probably your second most expensive thing to have to replace on a property, outside of foundations. Roofing is absolutely the most important
Yep.
aspect of a whole house. Without a good solid roof, you don't have an interior.
Yep.
Not charging to do inspections. I mean, I'm building that relationship by, talking to homeowner about what I see, when I come out there. Um, you know, Letting them hear me talk and try to explain what I find or don't find.
Yep.
And that kind of gets just like yourself. You're like, I've got to call Shannon back. Because I got everybody around me is getting new roofs. So people are going to remember that interaction you had with them, or that I've had with them. He came out here, he didn't charge me for this.
Yep.
Most roofing companies are not going to charge for that service, but at the same time, the added value after the sell or after just an initial visit is very important to myself and to a homeowner. The average roof is about $15,000.
Oh wow.
So knowing that, Shannon came by, he looked at my roof. He said that, I probably have another 5 or 7 years on there. I'm going to tell you something straight up that,
Yep.
if I think your roof's going to last another 5 years, give me a call in 5 years. I'm still going to
Right.
be here.
Yep.
But you're also going to tell your mom and dad, you're going to tell your uncles, your best friends, hey, call Shannon,
Yep.
and that's what we strive with that customer service side of it.
For
So,
sure. And I think what's really important about the roofing world, like you said, is just the integrity of not going over saying, "Yep, replace it, replace it,
yeah,
replace it." Like you talking through that, but then also you talking through maybe ahead of time. Hey, your roof's got 5 years, but who's your insurance company,
right.
right? Because a lot of people don't understand that with insurance companies, there are certain insurance companies out there that are really hard to work with
Yeah.
when it comes to claims. Now, they might be cheaper on price, maybe
Hmm.
they're not, maybe they are, but that's something you can talk about because you work with so many different insurance
Absolutely.
companies on how the claim process works. That's a lot of things that people don't really go
Yeah.
through much, and you have the advantage of knowing how that works, and you can talk through and homeowner and go, hey, here's the list of people that I done business with, and they've
Mhm.
done a good job with taking care of their customers. Here's a list of people that I wouldn't prefer,
Right.
right? And that's something that I think that you have a huge advantage on because, like, I think I've even talked to my father-in-law. I mean, he's owned real estate for probably well over, 25, 30 years at least. Um, I don't think he's even filed one claim. Like, I don't think he's even went through a claim.
Yeah.
He's built new houses, so many times. It was like every 5 years when he moved, he just built a new house, and that's just what they did.
Right.
Back in the early 2000s, all the way until pretty much like 2010. And that was, an interesting thing because I've now went through the claim process twice in the same month. The first one was the roof. The second one was the water damage, which unfortunately happened like literally as we wrapped up the roof
Yeah.
project. So that one was a little bit unexpected. But since I just went through it, I knew what to go through, and I knew how to picture that. But a lot of people don't know,
Right.
and it's a very unknown process. And I feel like a lot of insurance companies kind of put you in the dark. They don't really walk you through that. So it's very important to have an insurance agent on your side to walk you through that, to
Yeah.
answer any questions you have. That's why it's very important, I think, to have an insurance agent that's here local in Kansas City or wherever you are. Because when it comes to that side of it, you really want to have someone that you know and trust versus just talking to a call center in a different area or different state. They might not have your best interests. So,
That's absolutely true. I work with one specifically. We both know him, but he answers his phone when you call him. You
yep,
call the office and ask for him. He's there to answer your calls. Um, I hear more often than not, like you were just saying, if calls a call center 800 number and you don't know who you're going to talk to. I've had people that been with specific insurance companies. Well, I've had this agent for 20 years, and they've never done me wrong. Okay, well, until now, when you got a claim, they're not doing you wrong. They're not doing you right. They're doing you wrong.
right,
So, well, they won't do that. No, they will. And every insurance company has their own faults. Some are just have a lot more faults than others.
yep,
Uh, so yeah, it's very important to find an agent that will like, talk to you on the phone, answer an
definitely.
email. You can walk into their office and you know just talk to them for a few minutes about life or about your policy. It's always really good to know everything about your policy. And if you don't have an agent
Yes.
that can't explain everything, you don't have the right agent.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And I think there's a lot of changes in the insurance world, and we'll get into that when we interview our next insurance agent. But there's a lot of changes in the insurance world when it comes to, wind and hail deductibles
Yep.
going from what it used to be 1,500, 2,000 to now it's 1 to 5%.
Yep.
There's a lot of changes with doing roof schedules, and
Yep.
a lot of people don't understand what that is. Is as the roof gets older, the insurance company's percentage of coverage goes down.
Yep.
And then once you hit that 10 to 15-year mark, some insurance companies aren't even covering any part of the roof,
Right.
which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of different things you got to look out for as your roof gets a little bit older. But another question for you is like, how often do you think you should have your roof inspected? Is that something you
I
think?
think, every year have your roof inspected. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, we talked about it earlier. I'm not charging you to come out and inspect
Yep.
your roof. But you should have your roof checked out every year. Have it, maybe you need to have preventive roof maintenance done to it.
Yep.
I always recommend, having that done every couple of years. But if you're at least calling and saying, hey, I just want you to come look at my roof, I have no problems doing that. I'm going to catch whatever problems that you may have early on. So it's
Yep.
going to minimize whatever interior damage you may get if we're catching those. So every year, get it checked. I mean, it
For
doesn't hurt.
sure.
So
So, and then when it comes to that side of it, let's just say I'm looking to go purchase a new house. A lot of
mhm,
our clients are purchasing new homes. They're getting a home inspection. The inspector might go up on the roof, might
yeah,
not, especially this time of year when it comes to um, being colder and
right,
rainy and snow and ice. they're probably not going up on the roof, and they're probably not flying a drone up there to look at it. So what's your recommendation on that? Just have you come out and take a look at it, maybe?
Yeah, so I mean, home inspectors, they have a broad range of things of knowledge that they have to have. There are some home inspectors I've worked with that are very knowledgeable when it comes to roofing, and then there's others that just have no clue, which is okay. There's nothing wrong
Yeah,
with that. You're paid to inspect everything as a whole. Where I'm paid to, if I'm not paid, you bring me over to look at a roof. That's my specialty.
yeah,
My specialty is your roof, your gutter, your siding, and all that. So ultimately, getting out once a year, just getting everything checked out to, find any pre-existing damage that could be a potential problem is ultimately the best option. So whether you're calling me or you're calling, somebody down the road, it doesn't hurt to have somebody come out and check it out once a year.
for sure.
Same thing goes with your house. I mean, we want to check your roof out
Yep.
every couple of years. And our warranties, we give a 15-year workmanship warranty. We want you to reach out to us. If we don't reach out to you, to come out and look at it every couple of years just to verify
Definitely.
that. Make sure everything's aging correctly. You have a lifetime warranty with the manufacturer when it comes to the shingles, but you have a 15-year warranty with me when it comes to the workmanship. So not every shingle is perfect. We can
Hmm.
find some issues a year later that we can correct right then and there
Yep.
and take care of that.
Definitely makes sense.
Yeah,
Well, I really appreciate you coming on today. I think there's a lot of knowledge there and a lot of things that people can, bring from that. And so I think, one of the big things is as your roof gets a little bit older, definitely have your preferred roofer or give Shannon a call at Blue Rain, have him come out, take a look at your roof, see if it would be covered by insurance or not. But we appreciate you coming on today, and hopefully this will be good for you guys and your business as well.
absolutely. Yeah, if you want to reach out to me, you can call me directly on my cell phone at 816-308-7578. Shoot me a text. I answer text probably quicker. Yeah, call me or whatever. We take care of you.
Perfect,
I
man.
appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, man. Well, we appreciate you guys listening in, and we'll see you next time.
So, yeah.
See ya.